Hey, JR, knock knock. Who's there, King? Interrupting cow. Interrupting cow. Moo! Ha ha ha! That's my buddy Jonathan's favorite joke. You know what else is my favorite? What's that, King? Week 15 in the league. Why is Week 15 the favorite of the week? Because it's time for Playoff Mania!
Who will survive?
King, this was a year like any other. You got that right, JR. We had COVID, we had Tuesday night games, we had Wednesday night games, we have a fake belt, we got the return of the four-time world champion, and we've got a brand new competitor to the league. Jeez, whoever wins this belt truly is the champion this year. No kidding there, King. But we think they're sick and tired of seeing us. I think we got to get right into it because we've got a doozy of a lineup today. Let's get right into it. Let's get to our first match. This is always our first matchup of every Playoff Mania. It's the worst. The 5th place matchup. Number 3, Aubriel Snakes at 7-6. Facing Alfredo's Pizza Cafe, who also finished 7-6. Dana leads this series 8-1. They are tied in the playoff 1-1. In the 5th place matchup, this is Sam J's second, coming in 2016. This is Dana's 4th. She had 3 in a row from 16, 17, and 18. This is their second meeting as they once fought in 2016.
Good luck, Dana, in the 5th place game, a game rivaled only by the 9th place game in terms of complete and utter meaninglessness. This is our prize for blowing it against a pair of inferior teams. At least we didn't blow it so badly we missed the playoffs entirely like Eric. Cheers.
True words have never been said about the meaninglessness of that game. So let's wash that disgusting taste out of our mouth and keep moving on. It comes in the form of the Constellation Semifinal 1. The 8th seed, you had one job at 6-7, taking on the 9th seed, Tell That to Ganja Club at 6-7. Katie leads this series 9-7, and they are tied in the playoffs with 1 win apiece.
Well, Bob, we meet again. And this time, just like Han Solo, I am going to escape your grasp of the Ganja Club. You don't believe me? Go back and look at, what was that, week 11, when I almost doubled up your points? I don't know if it was COVID or IR or what other $1 million excuses you're going to come up with, but bottom line, I'm going to kick your ass again. So thank you in advance for my delicious sandwich. I hear now, thanks to COVID, Subway and the various sandwich-making extraordinaire places do deliver, so I will look forward to dinner arriving at my doorstep, courtesy of you.
Katie, as a fellow student of history, there are 2 rules you should have learned by now. Don't start a land war in Asia, and don't face Bob in the constellation bracket. Adam had to learn that the hard way, and I'm more than happy to give you a refresher course. And even if by some miracle all my players get hurt in the first quarter, and you manage to squeak out an unlikely victory, keep in mind, this is 2020. It's a lost year, and nothing that happened this year really matters. Don't like it? Well, then all I have to say is, talk about the Ganja Club.
Looks like we have another mediocre match coming up. Yeah, these matches are really just fodder for us to keep drinking so we get really drunk and really cheer loud for the next matches that are coming up. So yeah, let's keep this train rolling. It's our Constellation Semifinal 2. The 7th seed, Football Jesus, finishing 6-7, taking on Staff Infection, who finished at 4-9. The series overall is tied at 1-1, and this is their first time meeting in the playoffs.
Finally, the commish has come back to PlayoffMania. Over the second year in a row, the commish comes face to face with a jab, face to face with a former lead commish, face to face with staph infection. The commish doesn't care if your name is staph infection, staph median, wizarding staph, chief of staff, oh hell, just breath of the bow staff you take your husband with. The bottom line is it doesn't matter what you call yourself, because when Kyler Murray's bigot ass is done running all over you, it'll be the Lord Commish versus Bob again for the consolation championship after Katie is done blaming me again for her loss. If you smell what the commish is talking.
I've been asked to do this in Italian accent, and I am terrible, so here it goes. Right now, our match is 50-50, but let's be honest, Eric doesn't win shit. I've been in the league, only 2 years, and we have the same amount of titles? Good work, Eric. I'm sure that was really hard for you. That's what she says. You're just gonna go down like the Titanic, as per usual. Is it just you, JR, or am I getting very excited here? Oh no, I'm getting excited too. This is starting to be the time where we start getting into some of the best matchups. This is the part where we start turning the corner and getting into the Intercontinental Championship part of it. Oh, I know. This is the meat and potatoes part of the episode now. We're really going to see something. If you thought those matches were good, just wait till you see what we got ahead. Oh, you're right. The next coming up ones are real slobber knockers. Let's get right into it. Here it is, our first matchup to get into the championship game. It's the champ by semi-final one. The second seed, Glorious Domination, finishing the season at 9-4, takes on number 5, Old Iron Tits, who finished at 7-6. Travis leads this series 7-4, and they are tied in the playoffs 1-1.
Hello, Glorious Domination. Leonardo DiCaprio here as the face of Old Iron Tits. I'm joined by General Matthew Bunker Ridgway, who is a senior officer in the United States Army. Why is he joining me, you may ask? He is the one and only Old Iron Tits, named after his habit of wearing 2 metal canisters attached to his load-bearing equipment at chest level. Some say they were both grenades, some say one was a medical kit. This information was sourced from Wikipedia, so if it's inaccurate, let it slide. I'm not a history major. Anyway, Glorious Domination, I'm going to drop these tin tits grenades so hard on your team, we'll be hurting in a way that makes Dak Prescott's injury look like a stubbed toe. When you lose to a team that was sitting in dumper territory most of the season, you'll see the pain of Old Iron Tits taking you from Glorious Domination to Glorious Elimination. Leo out.
So here we go. First weekend of the fantasy football playoffs for me. Glorious Domination was so glorious this year, we got a first round bye. Now, this playoff matchup against Old Iron Tits is going to be pretty challenging. But my plan this weekend is to do what I've done all season long. Ride DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, maybe a little bit of Deshaun Watson to the fantasy football championship game next weekend. Now, I'm not overlooking you, Old Iron Tits. I know you got a great team, and you're going to bring it. So I just got done working out at the gym, clanging and banging, like all my boys on the fantasy football team do. Old Iron Tits, we're coming for you this weekend. You better be ready, because I'm bringing my best.
Now this is my favorite matchup. This is my puppies matchup. That's right. Here it is. It's time. Let's get into it. It's our first main event. And of course, it's the Dumper Bowl 9. Woo! The 10 seed, David, finishing the season at 6-7, taking on 12 seed Quarantine, who finished at 3-10. Sam B won their lone matchup this year, and obviously the playoff this is their first matchup. This is Adam's first foray into the Dumper Bowl action. Welcome and get used to it. This is Sam's third in 2016 and 2018, winning it in 2016.
You, David? Oh, you, David. You're up Schitt's Creek this week. It's you and me in the Dumper Bowl. It's my first year in this league. Little to know, I'd correctly named my team Quarantine and drafted 3+ players going straight to IR. I deserve to be in the Dumper. Being my first year in the league, I'm glad I have you, Sam, to show me the ropes of the Dumper Bowl. Who better than someone who's now been here 3 times and won the Dumper? The only way I'd have a better tour guide is if it were Andy. This season, you had the 4th easiest schedule in the league, yet you produced the 2nd least amount of points after my team. It should make for an easy win this weekend. Sam, I really hope you get your sense of taste back, because I don't want you to miss out on the bitter taste of defeat and the dumper shot that goes along with it. This weekend, you're going down harder than Eric in a Cards Against Humanity laughing fit. In the immortal words of Rodney Ruxin, I wish you a hearty, heartfelt, suck it!
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
Well, hopefully Adam wins that Dumper so that way he doesn't end up in the Baron's household. Oh, you got that right, King. Well, it's about to get to that time. We've got to wrap this thing up, and there's only one match left. And you've got it. It's our main event, too. But before we get into it, we just want to say thank you for being part of PlayoffMania VII. We love this. We're always glad to be here. Until next year, here it is. It's our main event number 2. And the second championship semifinal that will determine who goes on to face for the unified belts. The 1 seed, What Doesn't Hurt, finishing the season at 10-3, taking on the 6 seed, hanging with Mr. Epstein, the record of 7-6. This is the most played matchup in all of the league. This will be their 20th matchup. JB leads the series 10-9, and JB holds a 3-1 lead in the playoffs. Well, here we are. Here the bleep we are, Kyle. What do we even call you? Do we call you the Kyle Packers or the Green Bay Clarks? I don't know. The way you pick up so many Packers is just too confusing to understand anymore. So here we are, my first year back in the league, in the championship bracket, and of course, I run into you, the one that we have ran into the most. 20 times we have played, 4 times in the playoffs. So you know what this drill is about. You know the game. You know what it's like to run against Mr. Playoff Mania. Now granted, I give you this. You have beaten me once and prevented me from winning a 3-peat championship. But that's no more. You only get one. I am here to unify this belt with my belt that I never lost. You are just a road bump in my way. So, Kyle, while I respect you and I treasure you, you're just another notch in my belt. And I'll see you on the fantasy gridiron. Kyle is in with a text message, and I'll read it. My message is short. A quote from Lombardi. I won't do a Lombardi voice, so don't worry. The objective is to win. Fairly, squarely, decently. Win by the rules, but still win. And not leaving points on the bench. See you on the fantasy gridiron, my fellow champion. Well, there you have it, folks. PlayoffMania VII in the books. This was a brainchild of Eric and I 7 years ago about a way to kind of brighten up the league, and we took it from the league. This is the first year, 100% participation. I thank you all. I know it's tough. We all have busy lives. There's a lot of chaos going on, but I greatly appreciate everyone taking a couple of minutes out. So, finish it up. As always, I'll see you on the fantasy gridiron.